In today's video, we are reviewing the real estate markets. Is there going to be a real estate market crash? Some people are saying that this is going to be the biggest housing market crash of our generation. Or are people just fear-mongering? I want to give you the stats, and then I'll give you future predictions. I'm going to show you the charts, graphs, maps. It's going to be a wonderful presentation of facts. But first, I want you to understand this, otherwise your whole perception of the situation will be distorted. In real estate, there is seasonality. So typically, homes will fetch a higher selling price in May, June, July, and August. During peak real estate season, yes, there's more inventory. However, there's also more competition. The slowest months of the year are October and December. Okay, I want you to keep that in mind when I show you this graph and as we move forward. Also, I'm making this video in late November. October data gets reported in late November, so October data is the most updated information at this time. Now let's take a look at this. This is a 3-year chart of home prices. The median sale price on a home as of October is $397,862. This is down 7.6% from its peak 5 months ago in May. But you have to remember what I told you about seasonality. Home prices are lower in October. That's important because when you compare October of this year to October of last year, home prices are up 5%. So my question to you is this the greatest housing market crash of our generation? So that's for you to decide. However, the fact is that currently home prices are up 5%. So if you call this a crash, I mean, this is one hell of a housing market crash. All right, let's talk about the current situation. Inflation got out of control thanks to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is trying to fix their mistake by jacking up interest rates. So this has caused mortgage interest rates to more than double this year. This is a 12-month chart of the 30-year fixed mortgage rate coming from the Federal Reserve, sourced from Freddie Mac. So we started this year at 3% mortgage interest rates and we hit 7%. So of course, higher interest rates will slow down demand. It's going to cause a real estate slowdown. That's because it's so much more expensive to borrow money to buy a home. So, I mean, no one's going to deny that. Yes, there is a real estate slowdown and it's showing in the data. I want you to take a look at this. This is a 3-year chart. This is the number of homes sold each month. So it's fallen by 28.8% this October compared to October of last year. This is a result of higher interest rates. Okay, so right now we have less buyers in the housing market, right? So you would think that with less buyers, there's less demand and there's gonna be a real estate market crash. But do you know why that's not happening? It's because also there are less sellers. Demand for homes went down, which pushes prices down, but the supply of homes went down as well, which pushes prices up. So less buyers are being offset by less sellers, which is why we're not seeing a housing market crash. Therefore, we're in a situation with high home prices and high interest rates, which leaves us with home affordability at record levels in a bad way. Let's take a look at the supply side of the equation. As of October, there are 1.69 million homes listed for sale. So that's a slight improvement from last October, a 5.4% improvement. So it's better, but it's clearly not drastically better. But if you compare it to 2018 and 2019, we're still 26% below pre-pandemic levels. So yes, absolutely, demand has been dropping, but the supply of homes is still depressed as well. Compared to pre-pandemic levels, we're talking about 600,000 less homes for sale. However, it's not a perfect equilibrium. For now, it's still a seller's market, but each and every month, it's shifting in favor of the buyers. And we see that in the data. So take a look at this. Right now, 28.9% of homes are selling above list price. This is down from 46% in October of last year. And I want you to remember that all these stats, these are based on national averages. So the situation may be different for better or worse, depending on your area, your state, or your city. But I want you to look at this. This is the most up-to-date migration charts from Redfin. California is still the #1 state that people are looking to get out of. Florida still remains the #1 state that people are looking to move into, followed by Texas. For the month of October, here are the top 10 cities that people are leaving. At number 10, you have Seattle. 9, Denver. 8, Detroit. 7, Louisville. At number 6, that's my city of Chicago. So if you're on this list, don't feel too bad because I'm right there with you. Number 5, Boston. 4, DC. 3, New York City. Number 2, Los Angeles. And the #1 spot, San Francisco. Now let's talk about real estate predictions for next year, for 2023. We'll begin with mortgage interest rates. The 30-year fixed is around 7%. So it's been fluctuating above and below that recently, the past few days, the past few weeks. It is expected that rates could hit 8% next year. And then rates are expected to fall in the second half of 2023. They're predicting 5.4% by the end of 2023. They're saying 4.5% at the end of 2024. So this is coming from the bigger names out there, including the Mortgage Bankers Association. So my take on the situation is that prediction, it doesn't seem too far-fetched because the Federal Reserve will have to do their Fed pivot phase 3 in 2023. So that would mean lower interest rates at the end of 2023. However, whether it can hit as low as 5.4% by the end of next year, that's still questionable. Now let's talk about home prices. So as I told you, higher interest rates are slowing down demand. There are less buyers. But homeowners are staying put, so the supply is still low. Just think about it. If someone wants to sell their home, but it's not urgent, then they're not really motivated to sell, which is causing limited supply. So let's think about this logically from the seller's perspective. Why would you sell your home right now if you don't have to? If you sell your home, you're not going to be able to charge an arm and a leg. The market's not like it was last year in 2021. The market has cooled down. Why would you sell your home and give up your 3% interest mortgage rate if you're going to get another loan for 6 to 7%? That doesn't make sense. And you're going to be looking for a new home in this market, in this environment with limited inventory. It's still competitive. So no, of course not. For most people, from the seller's perspective, it just doesn't make sense. So buyers and sellers, they've practically just gone into hibernation. So this is why we're seeing lower sales volumes and home prices not crashing. And let me give you some more details on the supply side. New construction continued its downward trend in October. Starts fell by 4.2% compared to the previous month. Permits declined by 2.4%. So starts and permits are down 8.8% and 10.1% year over year, respectively. So do not expect a wave of new construction anytime soon. So here's what the experts are saying. Morgan Stanley gave 2 predictions, their good scenario and their bad scenario. They're using the good scenario in the event that we have a mild recession in 2023. The bad scenario is if we get a deep recession. In their good scenario, they're expecting home prices to end this year with a year-over-year increase of 4%. So you have to remember, as of October, home prices are up 5% year over year. Morgan Stanley expects home prices to fall 4% in 2023. So from peak home prices in June of 2022 until 2024, they expect home prices to fall a total of 10%. So that's their good scenario. In their bad scenario, they expect home prices to fall 20% from peak to bottom. However, that scenario, it would still be better than the 2008 housing market crash where home prices fell by 33%. So I predicted way back in December up until now that we're gonna fall 10 to 15%. We're down 7% so far, but again, you have to take into consideration seasonality. So 10 to 15%, that's still bad, but I don't know if that qualifies as a crash. Definitely not the greatest housing market crash of our generation. And I know that that's what some people are predicting. They're saying that we're gonna have the greatest housing market crash of our generation. That means that home prices have to crash at least a minimum of 34%. So we have a long ways to go if that were to be the case. You can take a look at their videos. Their thumbnails have burning houses, for God's sake. and they look so distraught in their thumbnails. So I personally think that they're fear-mongering and clickbaiting, so let me tell you this. Right now, there are 1.69 million homes for sale. In 2010, 2.9 million homes got foreclosed on, which adds to the supply of homes, and then obviously that crashes home prices. Home prices fell by 33% because of that. So imagine what it's gonna take to have the greatest housing market crash of our generation and home prices to fall 34 to 50%. I hope this information has been helpful. If you disagree, that's absolutely fine, but we'll see who's right in a few months. Please subscribe. I thank you for the support. We also have exclusive content on Patreon. Please check it out. Thank you again, and I wish you a very nice day.